Yay! We're here. We made it. So, of course, I have another guest, and I am actually super excited because I cheated a little bit. I've already been able to talk to you about the Raiders, and I've gotten to experience your show and your fans and your people. So, first, thanks for that invite, and you guys are awesome. And so, I'm super excited just to talk to you a little bit more about the Raiders, what you guys are looking forward to this season. I know you have a new coach that I'm super excited about. I might secretly become a Raiders fan, but don't tell anybody that. But anyways, I would love to know more about you. How long you've been a fan? Who are you? If whatever you want to share with us, we are all ears and ready to listen.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, for the fellow Raider fans, yes, first and foremost, please check me out. I am the Ultimate Raider Fan 32, also known as Turf in these YouTube streets when it comes
I love
to,
it.
the Raider world and the Raider realm. I'm actually someone that has not missed a game in this new stadium since they opened it up to the fans in 2021. I am trying to continue that streak. It's going to be tough this year to do that,
Yeah, there's some more
but
games.
yeah, I'm definitely trying to continue that streak and continue to bring great content to all football fans in general,
Yeah.
as far as NFL, college, just across the board. You'll find a little bit of everything from the show. I am part of a team. We call ourselves the Raider Syndicate. There's four of us. Mr. Cheeto Linus. You have my guy Chris, Protect the Shield. And then finally, last but not least, my guy Panama Fargo, aka Rundown. Rundown and myself, we have a show called the Turf and Rundown Show on Thursday nights, 8:30 Central. I have my show on Tuesday nights, actually tonight, at 8:30. That's the Ultimate Raider Fan 32 show. And last but not least, we have our team show, the Raider Syndicate, which is on Syndicate Sundays,
So
right?
fun.
As far as when it comes to what we're doing right now during the off season, and that's when all four of us get together and form Voltron and get busy. So
Yeah. And it's nice whenever, so I love fandom, like until it gets crazy. I like the let's talk about all the things and let's just be real about it. I think too many times fan bases like they only want to talk about the positive and we're going to be so good and we have this it's like that's not real. Let's talk about it all. Let's talk about the front office. Let's talk about the contracts. Like I love that. Like
absolutely.
dive in. And so it was nice to be up there with you all. Obviously, not being a Raiders fan, but still being a fan of football and paying attention. It was nice to just be able to like have a conversation and it not be weird. And I think we should do that more as fans. And that's why I wanted to do this. It's just like conversation. Tell me about your team. We're probably dealing with a lot of the same stuff. We're probably struggling in the same areas, and then we play each other. So then there's also
Right,
that.
right, right.
So how long have you been a Raiders fan?
I have been a Raiders fan since 6, 7 years old. I'm
Okay.
49 years old. I'll be 50 in January. The
What
big
started it?
playing football, man. I
Okay.
was, that kid that started under the bleachers and, in the fields, playing kill the man with the ball. And I saw that guy named Marcus Allen, at
Uh,
the 82 Super Bowl, kind of start left and, you know, skirt back the other direction for what, a 50, 60-yard touchdown, which was
yeah,
the start of giving him the MVP for that Super Bowl that we won. So that's
that's
where it all
awesome.
started for me. I always wanted to play football ever since. I'm born and raised in Connecticut. If you know, Connecticut is absolutely a basketball state. You know, shout out
UConn
to
just won.
UConn.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
My wife graduated from UConn.
Love
Shout
that.
out to UConn. I actually could have gone to UConn, but I just didn't want to. I
Yeah.
actually played football in college. I started out in junior college because I didn't want to go to any of the schools I had offers from out of high school,
Okay.
and I ended up at Montana State University. That's
How
where
was that?
I played and graduated. It was an amazing time. To put a long story short, it has the second longest college rival in history as far as Montana versus Montana State.
Oh, okay.
It's called the Cat Grizz game. I can tell you and assure you that I've never seen anything like it ever in my life. And as anyone knows, when it comes to rival games, This one's a little different because there is nothing else in Montana, right? It's just the University of Montana and Montana State. As far as sports in general, right? They don't have any professional teams,
Huh. Okay.
so it is.
That's amazing.
It's past intense. I mean, you can Google check it out. I assure you, you will not. Yeah, you will be shocked. We actually got. We were on ESPN's College Game Day show for the first time ever. Obviously, it was the Montana State game, and it was
That's
amazing.
awesome.
The weather was ridiculous. I was actually at that game on the field. One of my boys I played with, he's still got 3 sons that are actually all on full rides. One is an All-American and actually will be getting a shot in the NFL next year. So
that's so fun.
Just a lot going on from that respect. And it's so ironic and crazy how my team, meaning the Las Vegas Raiders, have such a presence of Montana football. And we can get into that if you guys want.
Really?
Exactly. See, and that's the thing. As you know, the Raider Syndicate, we don't play. We absolutely adore football. We've all played it at some point in our lives, whether it be, Pop Warner all the way through to college for most of us. And yeah, we leave no stone unturned. I have several shows. If you don't mind going to the Ultimate Raider Fan 32, it's a YouTube channel, all one word. I have shows on everything as far as each coach, players.
I love that.
I'm actually currently in the process of doing my turf exclusives of going over each player on the roster currently.
I did sneak in the other day and I saw you doing a Max Crosby. It actually, the alert came across and I was like, I like Max Crosby. So I clicked on it and I'm like, this is okay. But that's how you become a fan too, is like because obviously I watch those things with Steelers, right? Because I want to know like those guys, but it's like I love that side of fandom. I love information. Let me know why I should be excited.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So with our front office, there is a presence of Montanans like you have no idea, whether coaches that played for legendary coaches or whether it be coaches that, are from Montana, whatever the case may be. I know for a fact we have about 4 or 5 that has roots from that particular area. And one of the big ones and the biggest one that I think is going to be huge for us is our offensive line coach. In fact, he's a player that is from Colorado, born and raised, and he played for the great Sonny at Colorado State, Sonny Lubick, who I played with his sons at Montana.
That's so funny.
Mark Lubick is the assistant wide receivers coach currently right now for the Buffalo Bills. That's who I played with. I actually went to that game when we played him this year. Got a chance to get up with him, his family, meet the kids. It was awesome to get with an old teammate like that. And like I say, our offensive line coach was coached by his dad. So
that is so cool.
You know the ties I have, but there's even one more bigger, cooler piece of it all. I played against him in 1995. We played Colorado State at Montana State, and he was on the offensive line. So
this is the best story.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
that stuff in my story and history of my team. And now with, Montana kind of flooding the gates, if you will, when it comes to the front office.
Mm-hmm.
I am so elated because the one thing I do know that you are going to get without question when it comes to these Montana boys is toughness.
And that's half the battle, I think.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm excited and elated because we all know and understand when AP says the Raider way, what part of that means. And that means getting back to brass tacks and bringing that thunder. And I can assure you guys, they got 5 or 6 guys that are subliminally in there with whether it be raised from Bobcats or, from that country of Montana State or ties around it. And that's where you're going to see us flourish like never before.
I love that. Listen, I hope you guys win every game except for when you play the Steelers. I'm just going to also just mention the elephant in the room. Any team that has a black coach, I obviously want them to win and be amazing and do all the things. And so that adds another element of I'm like, yeah, I'm going for that team. Yeah, like I was cheering last year. I remember after the coach got fired. Well, at first it was like free Devonte Adams, like he doesn't deserve this, like this is terrible. And I joined the bandwagon. I'm like, let him go, like he doesn't deserve this. And then the coach gets fired, and then I'm like, no, don't let him go. Like keep him there. Like keep him there. Can we give Antonio Pierce the job? Like what's happening? Obviously, not knowing like the news and what fans are thinking. I, from an outsider, was like, oh my gosh, if he could get that job, like so anyways, I was excited. I'm like, this is it, like this is the moment. I'm super excited, so let's just get right into it. So tell me about some free agency moves that you loved, or that you're just excited to see, or that you really feel like are going to make an impact this year, or that just make you feel good as a fan, where you're like, okay, I see where we're going, I see what we're doing.
Right. Well, this is an easy one for us. It's getting Wilkins in on that defensive line from
Yeah,
Miami. I
yeah.
mean, that absolutely transforms our defense overnight. We all know we have secondary issues. It's pretty much the biggest problem or hole, if you will, as far as our defensive side of the field is concerned. But that's pretty much it. And now adding that piece, that centerpiece on the defensive line, that's going to allow everybody else around him to flourish. I honestly think we have the best defensive line in football right now, and
Oh,
that's
okay,
just with what we currently have. Could we have done
okay.
better with maybe a Murphy, right, or a Sweat, somebody out of the draft?
Hook 'em.
Exactly. Hook 'em on, and I am a fan. I am a fan of you. Again, like I say, I'm born and raised in Connecticut. Been out
Yeah.
here in Texas for 16 years, but I am a fan. So a cool, quick one about that is Steve Sarkisian, the head coach.
Oh,
I played against him in junior college as well. He went to Cerritos College. I was at
so I am
Central
famously
Players.
known for having trust issues when it comes to coaching. And the reason being is because I have Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin is
Yeah,
a pillar of consistency. You know what you're going to get. I know him and I trust him. And even when he pisses me off, I still, in my mind, I say, you know what? He probably sees a bigger picture. He's seeing things I don't see, so I trust him. I'm not there yet with other teams that I support,
right,
but I
right.
want to get there with Sark. Like I want him, and historically Texas has kind of done this thing, and they've, they're up, they're down, they're. I hope that he's the next coach that I can say I trust him. He's
I,
he's
yeah,
doing well.
right.
I have. It's one of those things where it's like I have no reason not to trust him right now. It's just my
Absolutely.
history of
Right.
my relationships with coaches where I'm like,
Well,
um,
I can assure you that the production you're seeing is the production you're going to get. I can't say that, right? Everything is going to go squeaky clean. We all know, right? Everybody has
yeah,
a past. I'm not trying to dog my guy because he is my guy,
nope,
100%. And I'm backing him the whole way
yeah.
this entire time,
Listen,
ever since it started. But he is a genius as far as a football mind. I saw
he
it with my own.
feels like it. He feels
I
like
mean,
it.
so I can assure you, from a football mind and a coaching standpoint, and getting the right plays there and being able to recruit things of that nature, there is no reason not to absolutely adore that man, because he's going to have all that and then some from that respect.
Yeah. And it's
It's
one of
just
those
the
things
athlete.
where it's like, right,
Yeah,
and it's like I want to trust him. I'm open to trusting him, right? Like it's like, when you're in a relationship with your team and you're just like, I want to be patient. I'm going, and I also, like, for me, I'm a real fan. I totally understand that he probably is not going to win every single game, right? Like I got it. But
yeah,
I also just want to see it look good consistently. Like I don't want us to lose to teams we shouldn't lose to. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like I want us to look prepared.
right.
And so far, like I said, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm all
Sark,
right.
Sark's the guy. Sark's the guy. Yeah, he's the dude.
Yeah,
You have to
I
worry
love.
about it.
Okay, so that makes me feel better. So tell me about the draft. How did you all feel about the draft? I have a thought, but I think you might say it because like I said, I cheated. We kind of talked a little bit earlier this week on your channel. But what do you think about the draft? How do you think it went? Who are some guys that you were like, yes? Or was there anybody that you were like, I don't get that pick?
Right. I'll be honest. I'll be very candid and honest. We were at the draft, right? The Raiders Syndicate, 3/4 of us were there. It was an amazing time. Detroit, they got some serious hospitality. They know how to throw an event. They know how to treat
Love
the
that.
fans. I was excited about that, and I rave and rant about that city. If I were to ever move to a cold city again, they would be on the top of the list right now.
Really?
That's how much I enjoyed myself in
Interesting.
Detroit, and
Okay.
also knowing what they're doing with the city. I mean, we all know Detroit was
True. That's very true.
not great for a while,
Yeah.
but they've really turned it around, and it's a special place. There's a lot of history there. You talking Kronk Jim, Tommy the Hitman's Hearns, Emmanuel Stewart, boxing, right? You talking the home of
Yeah.
Motown,
That's
right?
true.
Like there's just so much history. It's literally 5 minutes across the water to get to Canada. It's a 3.5 hour drive to Toronto. Like there's just a lot.
I
Uh,
see your point. Yeah. Yeah. I love Pittsburgh like that, mainly because it's just a sports town.
mhm.
And if,
That too.
it's like if there's not football, you can go to the hockey game. And if there's not hockey, you can go to the baseball game. And they make you become a fan of all the teams because usually they're decent. And
Yeah.
it's just everybody loves it. Like they love their teams. I love
Yeah.
that.
That's Detroit. That's why I say
Yeah.
they have every sport. So
Yeah. That's
I
cool.
was I was excited for that. And for the draft, again, I'll be candid. During the draft, oh, absolutely just upset on the initial pick. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I stomped out of there like a 2-year-old, whining and crying and kicking my ball and going home, and I don't want to play no more. It was awful. It was awful. And one of the main reasons was because the guy I really truly wanted for tons of reasons was right there, and that's Fuaga
Mm,
from Oregon State, and of course
okay.
he got drafted literally right behind us at 14, and it just hurt my heart. Like it just hurt because I have ties to that guy in ways of a coach, one of my best coaches of all time coached him at Oregon State, Jim Milcaric, who is now at Michigan State.
Okay.
And, it's the first lineman that they've had drafted, I think, ever.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
like 1968 or something like that. Maybe first rounders that they've never had. But long story short, I was really pulling for that guy and wanted him on our team for all those other obvious reasons because Jim
Right.
Eric was my coach at Montana State. So you can see where that kind of fits with also the offensive line coach. I'm like, that's a match
He
made in
just
heaven.
felt perfect. Yeah, he felt like the
So
guy.
I had,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, we're all up here wearing our GM hats, and we're only thinking about what we're thinking about, and we're never ever really being realistic with,
Nope.
okay, seriously, what will they actually do with this pick? If
Yeah.
this superstar can't miss, literally second best player of any position in the draft is still there
Hmm.
when there's no one else. I mean, so upset initially. Hindsight, as you know, I gave our draft a B plus. Very excited. They filled every hole you could possibly think of. They went out and drafted even more wide receivers, realizing knowing that most of those guys probably aren't going to make it, but there's some great wide receivers that
Hmm.
shocked, got drafted when they did. My favorite pick of the draft, 100% was Jackson Powers. And one of the main reasons for that is a lot, right? I mean, just the kid that we're getting, I think he was a first round pick. We got him at 44. As far as the second round, he is going to immediately start and be a staple on the team for at least a decade. I look at him as our new incognito, that kid that's nasty, that really, really has that Raider presence in the
Yeah.
trenches. He's an ex wrestler. If anybody knows my content or talk, I really have a thing for wrestlers. Pause.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you don't have your little thing, your little no diddy.
yeah, no diddy. But yeah, I have to tell you. I mean, if there is any sport that translates like no other, it's wrestling. So when you're dealing with
Mhm.
a wrestler in any other sport, you better bring your lunch because I
I
can
agree.
assure you that motor is going to be something serious and you're gonna have to work all day. So he's just got all those intangibles. I mean, he was the best pass blocker in the nation as far as college for all 4 years that he played, or however many years exactly.
What school did he come from?
Oregon.
Oregon. Or I'm like, I could not place him to save my life. Because I think he was on our draft board.
It's on everybody.
Yeah, like I think because we needed like a center, because we knew nobody cares about this, but we knew we needed some offensive linemen. And I mean, the Steelers, offensive lineman, linebacker, that's kind of what we do. And I remember when we did our first round draft pick, everybody was like, what are we going to do? Right. Like what? So, and I just remember seeing his name, but gosh, I could not place him to save my life. So, okay, he was with Oregon. Okay.
Yeah, so he's I think he's the still. The other reason I loved it was because it was actually one of our guys, meaning that Protect the Shield podcast, my guy Chris, he actually called for it, wanted it. And to see him in person there at the draft, right, and that pick to come across where we
Oh
were,
my God, that's awesome.
it was special.
Was he there? Was he there at the draft?
Yeah, he was there. He was there with us all.
Nice.
Yeah, there. And
okay.
to see his reaction, we got it on tape. It's out there in the YouTube streets and Instagram streets, if you will.
That is so awesome.
It was an amazing response to like, when's the last time you can honestly say, months before the draft, you were calling for a guy, and then you literally called it at the draft, when it was our turn.
That's awesome. So, that's fandom. That's what you want. Like
exactly.
That's fandom. Like that's to the core of us. Like that's who we are. Is like we want to be right, but then not only that, it also confirms that we know a little something. It's like, it's like I knew. Like sometimes when I'm watching like my team, I'm like, okay, if we don't run this ball to the right the next 7 times because they stuck over there, and then they do it, and you're like, I knew it. So I love that side of fandom. So what are you looking for, or what is it like? What are you looking forward to? What's your biggest concern heading into the season? I know you guys play the Chiefs, and every episode I feel like I'm talking trash about the Chiefs, but they've earned it. They've earned the right for me to talk trash about the Chiefs. So what is your biggest concern headed into the season?
I mean, right, let's be honest. We all know what the elephant in the room is when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's quarterback play. It's quarterback play. It's the quarterback. It's the offense in general. It's a tough scenario because first and foremost, everybody needs to understand Turf, the Ultimate Raider Fan 32, is an avid Aiden O'Connell fan. AOC is my guy.
Okay.
The amount of times he sees as much as I rave, and he'll be giving me a check. It's that bad. Yep.
Okay. That's your guy. Okay.
I'm on the bandwagon for a lot of reasons. And I'll just give the brief. If you look at this first game, coming in, being thrown into the fire.
Who was his first game against? Do you know?
He got
the Chargers. Okay.
It was ugly. It was
Wasn't good. Okay.
Not good at all. He went from that to turning the ball over to winning his last 4 or 5 games and not having a single turnover in any way, shape, or form. He didn't win us any games, but he didn't lose us any games.
Listen,
so you could see the progression just in 8 games.
Okay.
He's a smart kid. He's got a record that I don't think you just overlook that easy, which is an accuracy record better than Drew Brees himself. We all know he's a orange. Gold jacket.
Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? I got faith in the kid. I really believe in him. But I'm gonna be honest. That Gardner Minshew is a dog.
Yeah.
He can ball, and it would not shock me if he comes in and takes over. And with the weapons we have, really makes something happen. I mean, the biggest thing is right. A, we got to know what we're doing as far as the quarterback position, and then B, we got to know what we're doing as far as an offense. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the biggest worry for me because we didn't have one last year, right?
Yeah.
Fired a head coach, which essentially fired all of the
The
offense.
offense. Yeah.
Our, our coordinator became our coordinator mid-season by way of quarterbacks coach. Everybody else run out the building. So again, another feather in AOC's cap. We have been the most dysfunctional front office and team over the last 20 years. I have no problem being frank
Listen,
up
you
front.
guys might have competition with the Browns.
Well, yeah, there's a few teams we got competition with. The Panthers, the Browns, right? There are a couple of teams. But honestly, none of them are touching us. When it comes to the
Well,
amount
true.
of
In competition expectations and things like that, you're right. No, the Raiders should be good, consistent, stable. Yeah, I
and in
agree.
draft picks. I mean, we are
I
the
agree.
worst at draft picking of all time. That's where we've been. So for this kid, he's thrown in there, right? And you could tell he was being coached to do specifically exactly what they wanted. No variations, no, improvisation, nothing. Stay in that pocket, get hit, throw the ball. Like
Yeah.
you could tell he was being coached specifically in a way that it just didn't make sense. And that's why it took him so long to grow over those 8 games because it's like you had this guy in your ear telling you don't run, stay in the pocket. And now it's a whole new ball
Now
game.
you have a coach that wants to win. So
Yeah.
he's like, do you do what it takes to win?
He's like, well, I ain't been running all season. Now I got to try to run. And I'm looking like a freaking stick in mud,
Yeah.
against these NFL players. It's my first year as a rookie. I, what did you want? What you want from
Yeah.
me? I don't
So
know.
I have 2 questions for you. Did you all, where's Devonte Adams contract wise? Is he is he in a contract year?
No. I think
Okay.
he's got 2 more years. I think he's got another year after this year. Next year will be his contract. I
Okay,
think.
cool.
Not
Then my
100%.
other question
Yeah.
is, and I cheated, I already asked this, but my Colorado audience will very much appreciate this next question.
Sure.
Sheduer Sanders. I know when we talked about this before, you mentioned, I don't know if it was you or somebody else that was on the panel mentioned, like, you don't think the Raiders would be getting a draft pick early enough to be able to get him. But let's just assume something happens and you guys have a great season, but everybody realizes that the only thing you're missing is a quarterback.
Right.
How would Raider Nation accept Sheduer Sanders? What do you think about that? What are your thoughts? How would you feel? Have you given it any thought? Because,
yeah, of course. I mean, you accept them with open arms.
Okay.
So my thing is this. I personally don't think it's going to take a brilliant quarterback to win the Super Bowl. I think Brock Purdy kind of proved that. And that's not a shot
Amen.
on him. That's not, I'm not trying to dig on him or anything, but all I'm saying is he's got a complete team.
Facts.
Where again, if all he does is maintains and doesn't make mistakes, they win. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's what's going to be a Patrick Mahomes. Having a sound team with a defense that's in the top 5 that keeps Mahomes on the sideline. That's how you're going to beat him. You're not going to get some genius quarterback that now all of a sudden can compete and go, drive for drive with Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's a pipe dream. That's just never.
Can I say though, unless you're CJ Stroud, because if his development, like if this was year 1 and his development is all I'm talking about is his development, like not, I got it. He's a rookie, but like if he keeps kind of, going on this trajectory.
Look, I don't think people comprehend how special Mahomes is.
That's fair.
The
That's fair.
kid
Very fair.
scored in 13 seconds.
You're right. That's
I'm just
fair.
trying to. I don't think, and that's the see.
That's
That's the
fair.
problem. The problem is people think, oh, you can just go get something. You're looking at something that we'll probably never ever see in our lifetime ever again. Not for
Valid.
us.
Valid.
And that's all I'm trying to say. You don't just go get a Mahomes. That would be like saying, oh, well, yeah, just go get another Megatron.
Right. Right. Where are they
Just go get another
at?
Randy. Oh, we need a receiver. Yeah, just go get Randy Moss. That's easy.
Yeah.
You'll find him out there. Got him everywhere. It
Yeah. Go.
doesn't work
Sure.
that way.
You know what? Great point. Great point. I
Yeah.
agree with that. And it's just interesting to see how the game of football is evolving with quarterback play. And I actually agree with you. I do think you can win with a solid game manager that's not giving away the game. Because there's not a lot of teams that can win when you're giving the ball away anyway. But I think it just makes the point, like if you're in the red zone, like you can't, like, don't mess this up. Like, so it's like, I don't need you to be phenomenal. I just need you to not screw it up, actually.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Well, awesome. So tell me about the schedule. Who on the schedule are you kind of looking at right now? Obviously, at the time of this recording, the schedule has not been released, but we've all peaked. We all know who our teams are playing this year. So I would love to know your thoughts on the schedule. Who are you thinking about? Who are you eyeing? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a couple of issues, if you will. Well, obviously, there's always the issue of the Chiefs.
Yeah, 2 times a year.
Point blank, right? Playing them, in Arrowhead. I mean, we'll be more comfortable this year than we were last year, and I think y'all saw what we did last year. I think
Yeah, did y'all beat them in Arrowhead,
on
right?
on Christmas Day. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay. Because I was cheering. That was when I was like, yes, Antonio Pierce, he's gonna get this job. Like, this
Yes.
is the moment I was like, he's gonna get it. Like, he has to.
Right. So we got that game. We got the Bengals away.
Oh, you
That's
guys
gonna be
play
a
us
tough
right.
one.
You play.
We play the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another one that's a game that you just never know how it's gonna go for you. The big one that I don't see us necessarily squeaking by like we did is Baltimore. That game, I'm still shocked at how we won that game when we played them at home. Was it last year or the year before? No, it was last year. Was it last year when we played them early and beat them? Whichever one of those years, we just played them and beat them, and I was just shocked at home.
I feel like it was this year. Were they in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like it was this year.
2023. It was, I believe. It was either 22 or 23 for sure. But
listen, I've slept a couple of times since then. I can't remember.
Right, but it's in Baltimore this year. So
It's
depending
hard
on
to play in Baltimore.
and depending on what time of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That cold and that rain and snow.
We call it AFC North football.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
that's our gauntlet. Is like the worse the worse the weather gets, the better AFC North football you're gonna get.
Right.
It's like yeah. I don't
it's a huge advantage. It's a huge advantage. That's why. So again, this is why Montana teams don't have indoor stadiums. They've petitioned. They could have had those things built a long time ago, but it's takes away an advantage. When people come into Montana to play football this December, you are not prepared for that. You can't be prepared. Same thing for the North and South Dakota teams. Like, you can't prepare for that, and it's an absolute advantage. It's
oh my gosh, how much snow do you got? Like, I'm assuming you've had a lot of snow games, but like, can you remember, like, what was like a time you can remember? It was like,
absolutely, I can remember it vividly. It was 1995 against Weber State at home at Montana State University, where every play they had to plow the lines. It was on ESPN. Every single play, they plowed the lines within 20 yards so that we could actually even see what the heck was going on. It was literally a blizzard. It was like below 10, and the coldest and worst game of my entire life as far as having to be a part of. in the snow, etc. It was terrible.
So I have
But
a
yeah,
question about your mind right now. So when you think about that game, do you get cold? Like, can you
yes,
still remember?
100%.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
I was gonna
I
say like,
start to hurt. I start to immediately hurt. It's
yeah.
like just stop already.
I love that. I feel like
Oh,
I love our brains of how we like certain times take you right back there. You feel like you're right in it. You can remember like if your toe was hurting, if
yeah,
your left knee was about to
every
give out. It's like you remember all of the things.
all of it.
That's
Yep.
awesome. So my last question is just tell me, is there anything like you would like other fans of other teams to know? Is there anything that um, in Raider Nation, you're Raider Nation, right? I think I've seen that a couple of
Absolutely.
places. Yeah.
Oh
Is
yeah.
there anything that's like happening in Raider Nation right now that's like new or fun or exciting? Um,
Yes, actually, yes. We are getting a party cruise for the fans.
oh,
Yes,
we
some
do that.
big,
The
huge.
Steelers have that. When is it?
This is new. It's the first time it's happening. I'm not
Oh,
sure
cool.
exactly where for us, but yeah, this is brand new. It's a huge cruise, like a huge one of those ginormous ones.
Yeah, the
Um,
Steelers do it with, I think it's Caribbean. I went on one,
okay, yeah,
but they do the Caribbean, and it's usually, yeah. So like, and I like Antonio Brown was there, Heinz Ward was there. Like it was fun. It was like a week. I think it was the Caribbean. I can't remember
right.
exactly the cruise line, but yeah. So that's awesome that they're going to do it. I think it's fantastic. So I'm
Absolutely.
assuming you're
They
going to
do it.
go.
Oh no, I don't. I
You're
don't
not
do.
going to do it. Okay, you're not going to
I
cruise.
don't do
Okay,
cruises. Yeah, yeah. If I can't see the land, I got problems. Yeah, and yes,
that
I
was
can swim. I
fair.
can swim. I got no problem swimming. I can do all that good stuff. I got a pool. I just don't. I don't do cruises. I mean, being buttoned up in a boat with bad circulation and people sneezing, and
You're just out.
the
It's not your
same
not your vibe.
food for the 4 day. It's gonna be the same food, the same drink. Like I know too much.
Can I
I
play
know
devil's
too
advocate
much.
a little bit?
I know too much.
I've been on one cruise, and it
Right,
was the Steelers cruise.
right,
And that was my thing. I was like, I need to see land. If I want to go to the convenience store, if I, like, I just didn't like that I didn't have control. Like, I didn't
right,
like that if I wanted to do something in that moment, I wanted to go.
right.
What I found myself realizing though was like the experience was something I would never like. Where else would you go as just a fan, and then just to see all like your favorite people?
Right.
Because there's events, and and it's like the bowling event, the basketball event, the football throw event, and it's like it's almost like the Pro Bowl, but on a cruise ship. That's how it felt. But it's only your team and your fans. So I don't know. Anybody
They do a
listening, you should
lot.
consider.
Yeah, they
It's
do a
fun.
lot of that stuff for the Raiders, just in general. Though I got to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Like
Oh, okay. Well, that's good then.
even before Vegas, I mean, there are so many. They have the gala. I mean, I can show you pictures of the super fans that are with all the players all the time. And
Cool.
that's what's also really cool about Raider Nation. It's a different vibe than any other team.
I
Like
love that.
I'm telling you, even the players will tell you. Every player for the most part tells you they absolutely adored going and playing in those
Fans.
and being in the black hole, right? All of that stuff. It's just the challenge, right? Any of the superstars, you can ask them. They all talk about the Raiders, and
I
as
love that.
as a player, everyone knows there is no better organization to be an alumni from. We have hands down by far the best alumni for everything, literally
Hmm.
everything you can think of, whether it's the players coming back, whether it's the players showing love, whether it's us showing players love, all of that. You can ask any player that's played for any team, and I guarantee you they will tell you the Raiders. Every last one.
So basically, what you're telling me is if I decide to become a fan, basically what you're saying is it's a good place to be.
Oh, it's hey, we call it a lifestyle. I tell everybody all the time, Raider, it's so very different than look, I am a fan of a lot of other teams, right? In other sports. I'm telling you, there's nothing like being a Raider fan. Everywhere you go, you're gonna find them. Look, I've been around the world a couple of places. I got pictures with fans in Australia. I got pictures with fans in Lima, Peru,
That's
Mexico.
amazing.
Obviously, I mean, it's actually got more of a heritage of Latino, right? Mexicans than any other race, to be honest. When it comes
StreamYard
to
is giving you a thumbs up for that comment.
so,
StreamYard is like, yes.
I'm telling you. So absolutely. I mean, I don't know how I was so lucky. I mean, and that, see, because I can go on and on. I guarantee you, no other team has the ability to say the things that we can say as far as what our owner built, right? Meaning that the NFL is the NFL because of Al Davis. He forced it. It's the reason why we've been hated the most and still hated the most and still most penalized. All that good stuff because of Al Davis's doing, right?
Oh, interesting.
A lot of people don't know these things. He's the first coach to ever, right, hire a Latino as a head coach. He's the first
That's
owner
true. Yeah.
ever to hire a black or
Yeah.
African American coach as a head coach, right? He's the coach that, or actually, yes, he was the coach / owner that always looked to give people second chances and really step out there on the limb for his players. It's just so much that people don't
So are
understand.
you telling me that Davis is who people think Jerry Jones is? Because
Well,
I feel like
the
they
other way
give Jerry
around,
Jones the praise. Like I
other
feel
way
like,
around, if you will. I mean, Jerry Jones is now basically acting like Al Davis because he's saying
yeah.
Al and doing
So basically Al Davis, because
he's
I feel like
always mimicked Al. So if that's what you're trying to say,
that's
yes,
what I'm saying.
Jerry
Yeah, like
Jones
he's okay.
absolutely looked up to Al Davis. Everybody did. Al Davis,
Is
he's
Al Davis.
he's the most beloved owner of all of them. Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna say any. There's no other owner that did it their way like Al, the coach, right? And that's what I'm trying to
That's
say.
true. That's true.
When
That's
you
true.
learn about the history of the Raiders, you can only be so thankful. I mean, and you fit. See, that's the other last piece. It doesn't really matter what walk of life you came from. You fit as a Raider. We are a bunch of misfits. We are. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. I mean,
And can I just say Vegas is actually perfect for that
it
too.
is absolutely,
Like
it's
that's
absolutely perfect. It's the wildest, weirdest thing. I mean, you will see the most wildest fans come together that you will never see outside of a football game ever close to each other. That's just facts, right? I
I
mean,
love that.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm sure there are a lot of racists on both sides of the fence, on every
Of
side of the
course,
fence. But I tell you one thing: when it's Raider Nation, that
it's
all goes
time.
out the window.
It's game time.
Game
It's
time.
like,
That matters.
yeah.
They high fiving with your hand is brown, black, blue, yellow. As long as you got them colors on in that jersey, that's all that matters. And
That's what I always say. A touchdown is a touchdown. I don't care who you love, who you date, who you don't
there
like, who
you
you
go.
voted for. A
There you
touchdown
go.
is a touchdown.
And don't get me wrong. It's this whole fandom stuff. It also does have its underbelly that's ugly.
Well,
It's got its trolls. It's got it'll take a toll on you if you don't have the ability to put things in their place, if you will.
yeah.
Because all these teams have ridiculous fans, including the Raiders. We're no different, and you can get tired of them really, really quickly.
Absolutely. I think that's a good stopping point. I also want to say, like, thank you, not only for coming on and talking to me, like, thank you for that, but also thank you for inviting me, like, on your turf, pun
Absolutely.
intended, because I feel like so many times, like, we extend an olive branch, but you don't often get the olive branch extended back to you.
Right.
So I just appreciated the opportunity to just come. I can talk to anybody about football as long as you actually know football. Because some people, it's like, I don't even want to talk to you about it because you didn't even realize why they punted because you just don't get it, you know? So I just appreciated you extending that invite to me. I know some people in the chat, they seemed kind of like annoyed, but then I won them over. They seemed excited after it was over. So thank you for extending that olive branch. And that's an amazing quality to have. And I hope that one day I can extend a similar olive branch to somebody because I remember how it felt to get that olive branch extended from you. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Well, I will end this episode. Is there anything else you want to say? Are you going to give me like a Raiders chant or anything? Or am I okay? I had a feeling that was coming.